Well, maybe we'll get going then, as long as everybody can hear me and see the screen there. As I mentioned here, our main topic today is going to be digital note-taking with OneNote by myself, Tom Kreuzer. You can mute your audio and turn off your video until the Q&A at the end of the presentation. You can use the chat to ask a question or a comment during the presentation, and then at the end, I'll take a look at those and try and answer them. There is a handout out on the PCC website in the meetings, past meeting files. And Jim will also add it to the chat in a little bit because he usually waits a little bit after we're started to put it in there, because if he puts it in right away at the beginning of the meeting, anybody that joins after that point doesn't see the file or can't download the file. So he'll add it in a little bit there. The agenda, first we'll cover some club items and then we'll get to our main topic. Future meetings, we have a MaxSig meeting coming up this Friday, September 23rd at 11:30. And if you do have an iPad or an iPhone or a Mac, it's very beneficial to join that also. Our next question and answer session is October 4th, Tuesday, October 4th, and I take questions from people and try and answer, and we go over, if we have time, we go over a few current topics or things also. Our next general meeting is going to be Wednesday, October 19th, and it'll be on TV streaming services by myself. And we'll talk about what it is, some of the live, on-demand, DVR recording, and then some of the services. So if you're looking to cut the cable there, certainly a lot of people have done that. We can talk about that. Officers, Jim is our president, Linda is our vice president, Paul is our membership secretary, Paula is our treasurer, Chuck is our recording secretary, Mike is our MaxSig leader, Andrew is our communications coordinator, my name's Tom Kreuzer, I'm a director at large, and then for some of the various events we get people involved, so we have our volunteers, and this is the last photo I have from when we got together for our picnic in 2019. Members old and new, you can pay your dues to Paul. He sends out emails when your membership expires. So not everybody expires on the same date. And so you will get a reminder there. And if you don't pay, he'll keep reminding you. Also, if you are changing your emails, whether you're retiring from 3M, leaving 3M, or changing internet provider, if you change emails, let us know, because that's the only way that we can keep in touch with people there. If you have suggestions for topics, you can email your ideas for topics or talk to any of the board members. And we're always looking for volunteers to present on hardware or software that you may be using at work or at home. And we have a monthly eBytes newsletter. We're looking for content there too. So if you don't want to present but have a comment, whether it's a sentence or two or multiple pages, we can include it in the monthly newsletter. Out on our website, there's links that are sent in the email to the members. We do try and put all of our past meetings and slides and handouts. So if you miss any of them or want to revisit any, you can go out there and look for that. We also have a deal section out there with some discounts. We have our monthly newsletter that's out there. And if you do have any tips or hints or articles, or you want to ask a question, you can also send anything for the eBytes newsletter to myself. And that's the website there. We just had last month our club meeting out at the Pizza Ranch, and it was nice to see the people that made it out there. I think some of the people were taking photos. If you took any photos, if you could send an email to me, I'd appreciate it, and I can upload them and share them on the club website. So if you did take any photos, contact me, and we'll share them and share them with the rest of the club then. Thank you. Okay, let's get to our main topic, which today is digital note-taking with OneNote by myself, Tom Kreuzer. Digital note-taking. Never miss a flash of inspiration. Capture it. We all have flashes of inspiration, information that's bombarding us. We all have these thoughts, ideas, and information we come across daily that we'd like to keep and organize for some future use. The best digital note taker is Microsoft OneNote. It can do everything, works on pretty much any device, and the basic version is free with almost no feature restrictions. Used to be in the past, the main competitor, or actually the number one product when it first came out, was a product called Evernote. Evernote is the main competition to OneNote, but it's expensive to get all the features that you'll need. It can be upwards of $70 a year, and it also has bugs that slow down performance or just make it frustrating to work with. So it's not a tool that I recommend using. I recommend OneNote. Most of the sites out there for digital note-taking recommend OneNote. So it is the number one industry-leading package. There are also other competition out there. Google likes to have something for everybody also. They have a package called Google Keep, which is their digital note taker, and Apple has a package called Notes. They're okay, but they only have very basic note-taking capabilities. Unlike you'll see OneNote, again, does everything on every platform for everything that you're ever going to need. Everybody needs a tool like OneNote. So I can't have people raise their hand right now, but it'd be interesting to see how many people currently are using OneNote. I would guess that not that many people are. Many people that I talk to are not familiar with OneNote. They may be currently taking notes in a variety of packages, Microsoft Word, Notepad, different things like that. But we'll go into all these things. So first, what is digital note-taking? Digital note-taking is taking thoughts, ideas, and information that you might need to use either in a day, a week, a month, a year, or in 10 years, and store it in a digital format. So we've all collected notes before. We've just done it in different ways. Now we have these powerful tools to help us do things. And the information that we collect goes beyond just text and includes everything, including multimedia. And we'll talk about the different things that can be done both within the package and how to save. So in the past, we used a variety of different ways, and you can see down in the bottom right-hand corner the cluttered desk there where this person has accumulated a lot of notes and a lot of information. They don't have it, doesn't look like they have it very well organized, but this is what happens over time. You collect a bunch of different things. Also, we see the example of the notebook there. Where somebody has written down in there and you cross things out and you add things in and you draw lines or pictures or things like that. And then notebooks, over time, you end up with these notebooks. So in the past, you may have used paper notebooks, which worked fine in the days. That's good. You also probably used Post-it notes to take some of this inspiration and information that you run into and do it. And while we all work for 3M or have worked for 3M, it's nice to use Post-it notes. It's not a very efficient way to save that information. So as much as I like Post-it notes, I hope you aren't using Post-it notes that much And after today, you'll be using digital note-taking even more. Another way is napkins. So if you do have your inspiration and you're out eating out or that, I know in the past I'd jot down some notes or some things on napkins, throw it in my pocket, and sometimes it get lost, and sometimes I'd get around to it or whatever. Another way is articles. We run into newspaper articles or magazine articles, and we want to save it. Again, you may want to save it to take a look at it the next day, or maybe a week from now, or maybe a month, or maybe a year from now, but you want to save it. Today, we also have browsers, and almost all of us are out doing searches and looking up things and stuff like that. So there's website pages, whether you print them out or you go out and read them online, it can be handy to save those also. Typed notes. So you may have gotten notes from another source, and you have typed notes. Handwritten notes. This is more often if you were in school or attending a meeting or a presentation and jotting down handwritten notes. You may have a lot of those. And emails. We all get emails, and there's bits and pieces of information in these emails that we want to save and organize. Now, in the past, I think a lot of us have tried to rely on our brain to store all this information. And we hope that we remember what it is that's important there. That usually doesn't work very well. You remember some things, but certainly we end up forgetting quite a bit there. If you don't have a good memory, some people try and rely on their friend's brain. So a family member or a coworker or whatever, you're counting on them remembering. You hope that they have a better memory than what you have for this information. This information also could be a photo, could be a PDF file that you have, could be a voice recording or a video recording that has some good information in there. Could be a freehand drawing, could be scans, could be screen captures, could be drawings, sketches, annotations, highlights where you circled and put arrows to things and stuff like that, and just about anything else. So we've collected all this stuff in all these different ways. OneNote can handle all of this and more. So OneNote can be that tool to help you collect all this information, to organize this information, and preserve your sanity by making this information available to you and to people that you want to share it with. The big advantage of digital over traditional methods is the syncing functionality that makes your information accessible and updatable from virtually anywhere on any device at any time. And that's the important thing. Accessible, updatable, anywhere, any device, anytime. You don't have that with a notebook. You may not have the notebook with you. You may have had information that you collected a year or 2 years ago, and you go, where did I put it? Did I put it here? Do I have a Post-it attached to my computer monitor at home? That's no way to organize your information. So with a digital note-taking tool like OneNote, you can have access there. You can make the information even better by adding type test, highlighting, and ink annotations. And this includes any type of updating to it. Since you have access to it anywhere, if you have that inspiration or thought when you're out somewhere, if you've got your phone, I can bring it up, I can add to it, I can put in comments, I can put in questions that I want to check on. So you can interact with it from anywhere on any device. You can even share and collaborate with others. And certainly if you're at work and you have projects, it's nice to share and collaborate with them. but also if you're just at home. You may be planning a barbecue in the backyard, or you're planning a wedding or an anniversary, or you're looking to buy Christmas presents. There's usually some collaboration with one or more people where it'd be nice to share information and collect information. I mention here a digital note taker is not a word processor replacement. So this is not meant to be a replacement for Microsoft Word. Just like you don't use a hammer to screw in a screw, you shouldn't use a digital note taker to do your word processing. Some of your notes may turn into a formal document in a word processor at the end of your process, but you'll still use the right tool for what you're doing. And OneNote, you'll see, is great for digital note taking. It's not meant to be a word processor. Use Word for doing your word processing. Use OneNote for organizing and collecting your notes. So what are some practical uses for digital note taking? We're all doing it today, whether you know it or not. We collect information from all these different sources. We write it down. We put it on Post-it notes. We put it all over the place. But what are some of the other things that can be done? Well, one of the things is lists, maybe shopping lists that you have. And again, these shopping lists, it isn't just, oh, I'm going to get groceries. It's basically anything that you're going to be buying. Could be presents down the future, Christmas presents, birthdays, keeping track of likes and dislikes in there. Can be to-do lists, and we all have to-do lists of things that we have to get to. Some of them are not as urgent as others, but we all have lists that we deal with. Another thing that I end up creating lists for, and that is recommendations. So as we hear recommendations from family and friends, and I'm on Facebook, a neighborhood Facebook site, and Nextdoor. When you hear a good recommendation, and like for a plumber or for a tree service or something like that, where are you going to capture that information? And digital note takers are great for that. Also, you have ongoing note taking that you may be doing. This may be for a home or a work project where you're gathering notes. Maybe it's a case of you're going to redo the bathroom, or you're going to landscape the backyard. Keeping ideas and information and pictures and drawings and things like that. Again, they're great for that. Another thing is personal data repository. So we talked about trying to remember stuff, and our minds aren't as good as what a computer can be. So let the computer remember this stuff. So you can dump any of the data there that you run into that you think you might need. Again, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you can collect that information and then be able to find it. This is what I do. Now I'm maybe a little bit different than some. I help out people with their PC problems, and I also do fix-it clinic type things. So I'm fixing things and interacting with people. And what I'll use it for too is to keep track of the interactions that I have. This way, a year from now, if I trying to remember, maybe I helped them load Windows, or they had a printer problem, or they had a cell phone problem, or whatever they had, I can tickle my memory and check back on that interaction log with them. And then we have, like I mentioned, we're all going out to the internet. There's websites, there's information that we run into that we'd like to keep or may use in the future. Great place to save it. Emails, we get emails with stuff. We get magazines. You go to a lecture, well, and or a presentation, like this is a presentation. If there's a few things in here that you want to check on in the future or things like that, where do you store that information? Well, that could be the digital or should be the digital note taker. Meetings and classes. Also, they're great for idea canvases. These are things like mind mapping. Uh, this is where you diagram to visually organize your info into a hierarchy. This shows the relationship among pieces of the whole. So if you're into mind mapping, even most people are currently doing mind mapping, even if you don't know you're doing mind mapping, you're organizing stuff that way. Same with brainstorming. We're all doing brainstorming, and brainstorming is collecting information, maybe from family and friends, maybe from websites. Maybe you have a health problem and you're talking to multiple doctors and getting multiple opinions. Where do you store all this stuff and that? These tools can help you. And it can basically be any information that you think might be helpful in the future, which is opens it up to everything. So let's talk about Microsoft OneNote. It does require a Microsoft account. You can access OneNote through a web-based interface, and/or you can download the app or software to your devices for free. So what that means is if I, like on my laptop, and when I show today, I'll be showing OneNote installed on the laptop. And on my desktop, I have OneNote. And on my phone, I have a OneNote app. And on a tablet, my tablets, I have a OneNote app. So I have OneNote software on all these devices. But if I hadn't installed it on the devices, I could just go out to the Microsoft website and I can run OneNote without installing the software on any of the devices. If I wanted to get at it from a friend's machine somewhere or a library, if I went to the public library, I could go anywhere in the world, I could bring up my notes and I could take a look at it there. If you do install the app or software, that usually gives you a few more features than the web-based. So I do recommend if you're going to use OneNote to install it on your different devices there. Now, it does require a Microsoft account. You can get a free Microsoft account. That free Microsoft account is for your email and also provides 5 gigabytes of OneDrive, which is Microsoft's cloud storage. This is used to sync the information on all your devices. So once you turn on syncing and store your information up on OneDrive, you're making it available on any browser, on those apps if you've installed it on your phone or in Windows and on a Macintosh, you can access it anywhere. If you need more space, or if you've already purchased something, let's say like the Microsoft 365 personal software, that personal software gives you the license to use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and then here we see OneNote. So you do have a license for OneNote, Outlook, Skype, Sway, Publisher, and Access. That's $69 a year. That's good for one user and up to 5 devices, and you get 1 terabyte of OneDrive or that cloud storage. And it does unlock a few features in OneNote like stickers and some advanced math assistant stuff. It's possible if some people are paranoid or don't want to store their information up on the cloud, it is possible to store your information and your notebooks on your local hard drive because they are physically a file. But I don't recommend it since if you just had them locally and you weren't syncing to OneDrive, they wouldn't be kept in sync and you wouldn't be able to look at the new information, let's say on your phone, after you've entered it into your laptop there. So usually, like I say, the main benefit of these tools is anywhere where you can look at it, you can update it, and to do that, you want to be storing it up on the cloud. and it is also backed up, and you can get at any version going back, so it makes it easy to get at anything there. Okay, OneNote uses an organizational structure that has three levels. The first level is at the notebook level, so you can have any number of notebooks. Each of these notebooks can contain any number of sections, and each of these sections can contain any number of pages. The pages actually could take it down to a fourth level, because pages can have embedded things like Excel or an infinite number of canvases or areas within the pages. So indirectly, there's really four levels, but physically, there's the three levels: notebooks, sections, and pages. Notebooks can be saved locally, like I mentioned earlier, and or synced via Microsoft OneDrive. And again, I recommend that you use OneDrive, and that way you're sharing them with all the devices. So let's go out. We'll take a quick look here. I'm going to open up my OneNote here. This is on my laptop. So I've installed the software locally on my laptop. It was free to install the software. There's no cost. I don't have a Microsoft 365 license or anything. This is where I can choose my notebooks. You can set up any number of notebooks and then switch between them. This is showing the section. So right now I'm in Tom's notebook, and these are the sections in here. And within each section, you can have any number of pages. So let's go here and let's add a page for this demo. So we'll call it OneNote demo, and then that's a case of this is kind of the page here that I can start adding stuff to. Now I can click anywhere on the page and I can start typing. So I can go in here and I can just start typing anything. I could also go out here if I wanted something out here, and I could go out here. So this is a little different than a word processor. Again, it's going to look and it's going to act different than a word processor. But you can just start typing. You can put things in here. Also, at any time I want, I can paste stuff in here. Maybe I've copied from another. So let's go here, and I'm going to paste in some sample text. So here's some sample text. At any time, I can make this. I can move this box around. So I can do some simple things there. And this is just simply creating a note here. And we'll go back into here and add things as we talk about some of the other features here. So you do have powerful text editing, and the formatting is similar to Word, where you can even have styles. It's just that OneNote is not a replacement for a word processor, so I can't stress that enough. OneNote is not going to mean that you no longer use Word. Use Word for doing your word processing. Use OneNote for collecting your notes. In addition to text and that, you can do ink or drawings. So you can add thoughts, you can add text, you can annotate, and you can do that on the laptop that I'm currently using. I have a mouse, or if you have a touchpad, you can use that. If I'm on my smartphone, I can use my finger, or my smartphone has a stylus. I can use the stylus also for taking notes on there. But whatever device you're on, excuse me, you can draw. And the way you do that is you select the drawing tab and the ribbon, and then you can pick the type of pen. So let's just do a quick, excuse me, demo of that out here. So up here in the menu, we'll go to draw. And so when we go to draw, you can see I have a bunch of different pens. I can go here. I can draw, sir. I can draw stuff. I can, maybe I want to do a little arrow deal like that. So I can draw and I can do some things in here. I can also, this is a highlighting pen. If I wanted to come in here and highlight some text here. I can highlight some text here. Let's say I want to uh, build some boxes and some shapes. I can do that. I can put a box in here. There we go. We built the box there. Let's go back here. Let's make that red. Let's go back and put the box in here. And we put a box in here. And if we want, we can connect those with an arrow. I can connect from here to here. And I've connected that. If I want to add text in here, I can go back here and again, I can click anywhere I want to position the text wherever, and I can put anything that I want there. So you can draw very easily in here. You can add shapes if you make a mistake. There's erasers, there's undos up here. If I go here and let's get rid of this, you'll see I can erase the stuff there as needed. But I can easily draw. I can highlight something. I can draw attention to it. Okay. It also lets you do mixed media. So you can record audio notes. I can put online videos in there. I can put images in there. I can put files in there. I can put links in there. I can put almost anything I want into that page that I'm storing that information. So you can put just about anything you want there. You can also tag, which is letting you highlight can't miss notes with important information and to-do tags. So let's go back here. Here we're in here, and let's say there's some information in here. And what I want to do is I want to tag some of the information here. I can go here, and let's take that. And you can create any number of tags you want, or there's some standard ones. So we'll just put an important there. Now I've tagged it as an important tag there. So it's kind of, you can create your own tags. Makes it easier to search and find things if you put tags there. We talked about multimedia. So let's go over here. I'm going to go over here and let's insert some audio. So I can go here and I can go up to the insert. I can go here and I can record some audio here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a test of the OneNote demo here with the PC Club. I'm going to stop it here. And that is now a recording that has been stored inside this note. At any time I want, could be later today, could be tomorrow, could be a year from now, I can come back here and I can play it if I want. So I can go here and I can do this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a test of the OneNote demo here with the PC Club. I'm going to stop. So you can record anything. You can see when it recorded it. It did a timestamp saying when it was that this recording was done. So it's kind of nice there. Some of the other things that might have been able to be inserted there is, again, could be a video, could be pictures. If you're using your smartphone and it has a camera, well, all smartphones have a camera. I can take a picture of a magazine article or a person or a backyard. If I'm remodeling a backyard or I'm working on a faucet and I'm going to Menards and I need something, I can take pictures, I can highlight, I can draw around things. This is what I need, that kind of thing. So you can use it to collect all that information there. Let's go back here. Another nice thing with OneNote is what's called clip and save. So you can use the OneNote web clipper to save content with a single click. It's an extension that can be added to browsers like Chrome or Microsoft Edge. So this is an extension that you'd install in Chrome or Microsoft Edge, and then you'd be able to easily capture stuff. So let's do a quick demo of that. Let's go out to go out here. I'm going to go to this website. So here's a website. This is an article I was looking at, best live TV streaming services for cord cutters of 2022. And this is what our topic's going to be next month. So maybe there's some information in here that I'd like to capture or that. Well, like I said, I've installed the OneNote up here and OneNote Clip to OneNote. So this is just a little plugin that I've installed. Again, it's free to install. If I click on this, this starts up a little screen here, and it lets me capture this website that I'm on. Now I could capture the full page, which if we look over here, this is kind of the full page, the full article, and goes down multiple pages there. It's got the graphics, got the text. I could put that whole thing out as a note in OneNote, or I could just pick a region. And if you pick a region, you come in and you highlight what you want to save here. And I can add additional notes to it right now. So let's put demo OneNote. So it captures some information here. I could also just capture the article itself or a bookmark. And the bookmark, if I do this, it just captures kind of the first few sentences, the URL link, and some information there. But let's do the region. Then it asks, where do you want to save this? And this, I'm going to save it in my notebook. And usually when I capture stuff from the browser, I put it into a section called Inbox because this will let me decide where I want to put it, if I want to create a brand new page or if I want to add it to an existing page that I have out there. But I put most of the stuff that I clip into what's called this inbox that I defined as my inbox there. And so we'll let it default to that, but I could change that. I could put it into one of my other sections there. I could pick any of my other sections, but again, like I said, we'll put it into the inbox. And I'm going to clip it. And when I clip it here, it's going to clip it. It's going to create a page for me. And now it's asking me, do I want to view this in OneNote? And I could go back to the copy of OneNote that I have on my laptop here that we've been working with. So I still have that running here. But just to show you what the browser version of OneNote looks like, let's view it in OneNote here. This will start up the browser version of OneNote and show me what I've just clipped here. And you'll see that it has a little different look to it than the desktop version of OneNote, but you can see it has all the same type of deals. You can see here's what we clipped there. It put my comment in here, demo of OneNote, has a link to the URL, so at any time I can click on that and go back to the full web page and the full deal. And you can see I've got several other things still in my inbox to go through and figure out what to do. Here I was. So you can see I can get access to it. If I wanted to highlight something in here, again, I can go here. You can see this is a little bit different than the other one, but I can easily highlight. I can draw. Let's go get our pen and we'll. So I can draw same as everything there, and then I could either copy this, send it, share it, do whatever I want with the note itself. And if we go here, so just to show you the syncing capability, since we're on the browser here, let's go back to the one that we were working with on the laptop. There's our OneNote demo here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Excuse me. Where did I? Oh, here it is. Excuse me. There's the one that we were working with there. So there's the one. So you can see that it's synced and updated across the different devices or platforms or systems there. So let's close that. Let's go back here. If I can go back here. So the clip and save is really nice. Makes it really easy to capture stuff. You can also share and collaborate. You can share notebooks with coworkers, friends, and family. Multiple people can work on a note at the same time and see each other's changes. So if you're planning that barbecue, if you're working on a wedding, you're wanting a friend to take a look at a plumbing problem you're having, you can share and you can both be updating and adding information, contacts, links, whatever you want. It's all backed up, it's versioned, and it's synchronized. This prevents data loss and allows the info to be accessible from anywhere. Again, from anywhere on any device, anytime. You also have undo, redo, and editing. This lets you make your notes a living, dynamic information repository rather than static documents that are difficult to edit after the fact and can become obsolete. And if you have the old paper copy of notebooks, there's no scratches, there's no, if you wanted to add a whole bunch of text, you're not having to refer it to a completely different section or stuff like that. You can copy and paste text from images with a high level of accuracy when converting graphics to text. So we'll take a quick look at that. Now I'm going back to OneNote on the PC here. And when I'm on the PC, I had put out here a little article. So this is a photo. I used my smartphone and took a photo from about 2 weeks ago in the Sunday Parade magazine. There was a response in there that I liked by Marilyn here. And Marilyn was talking about history. And I liked her response to that. And so I took a picture of that. And when I took a picture of it, it let me crop the picture exactly as I wanted. So I could have this in here. I can size this if I wanted. So I can do different things with it in here. But one of the things, maybe I want to get this text, the text that's in here. Well, I can just right mouse click on this, and there's an option here, copy text from the picture. Now I've copied the text from the picture. If I go here and let's do a paste, so I'm going to go do a Control V, and you can see it pasted. It's not perfect, but it's probably 99% accurate. You can see Maryland at parade.eom. Well, it's supposed to be Maryland at parade.com, but it got 99% of the text exactly there. So really nice feature to convert your pictures to text. And if you've taken pictures from a magazine or from some other printed copy there, you can easily get it in text there. High degree of accuracy. There are some cons. Limited search functionality. It can't do everything for you there, but it is a little bit limited. Limited text formatting. So again, it's not a word processor. It lets you do quite a few things, but you can't do everything. Like, let's say you wanted headers and footers, things like that. It can't do any of that. And then with the free account, you do have limited storage, 5 gigabytes. So you don't want to be putting in a lot of video into some of your notes if all you have is 5 gigabytes there. But certainly text doesn't take up that much, pictures don't take up that much, and that you can put an awful lot out there. I personally are still using the free version. I haven't run out of my 5 gigabytes. The 5 gigabytes, again, gives you quite a bit of space there. So what are some tips for doing this? It's very easy to take notes, much easier to find them. You need to organize and find them, and hopefully these tips will help you. Every piece of content that's added to a page comes in its own field or box. You can resize that box, you can drag and drop it, You can change its position on the page. For some types of content, this works well, but it can lead to messy pages or ugly pages if you aren't careful. So you do have to be a little careful. That hierarchy that we talked about, notebook, section, page, subpage, is of the utmost importance here. The reason is you can only share at the notebook level. You can share a link to a section or a page, but the person you send it to must have permission to the whole notebook to access it. Because the notebook is what the file really is stored up on the cloud as. So when you share things, you're sharing at the notebook level, but which isn't difficult. If you're going to have a project that you're going to work with people, create a separate notebook and then share it with them. You choose whether the access when you share it will be edit or view only. You can create new notes very quickly. You need a place to save it. I mentioned I put it in a section called Inbox, and that's where I usually save my stuff. You never know when you'll need your old content, so instead of deleting stuff, frequently you could just put it in an archive folder or notebook out there, and then you can get at it later if you want. You can use the search to find what you're looking for, and the search will actually look in the text that's within your pages, the handwritten notes, and even the words shown in your pictures. So again, it's using that OCR capabilities. It'll look in your pictures that you have at the text. It can also convert handwritten notes or images to text. You can password protect notes from prying eyes. By default, your file is protected so that only you can access it with your account, but you can additionally password protect sections if you want. A template, you can add templates, and that's a page design. And new pages you can have given a consistent format there. And you can turn on a grid. So let's quickly go back here. Let's go to our demo. So this back here, let's say I was going to be using a stylus or something like that, or taking handwritten notes. I can go up here and I can put on ruled lines. Let's do this. Let's put lines in there. So see, it makes it easier if I was aligning things. Or if I wanted to change the color, let's change the background color. Let's make it kind of like a yellow legal pad there. And you can see we kind of made it look like a legal pad there. But you can change that look there. Regularly go through and clean up your notebooks. So if there are old notes that you no longer need, delete them. Maybe you combine them with other things. Maybe you archive them, or reorganization. I keep OneNote open all the time on my desktop so it's ready to go to look up or add information to. Tags, as we mentioned, help you to find notes. You can narrow down the tags and search across multiple folders. Just be careful, don't create too many tags or you'll get sloppy with it and you'll find that they're hard to use then if you've got too much. When something comes to mind and you want to write it down but you're seriously rushed, you can dictate. Most smartphones have a text-to-speech function. Start a new note, press the microphone icon on the keyboard and speak whatever you want to write it down. Alternatively, you can record a voice menu and transcribe it later. Let's see if we can quickly go out. Where am I here? Oh, that's not where I wanted to be. Well, I guess I closed it. We won't go out there right now. Otherwise, I'd go out to OneNote and let's see if we can get it here. So this is our note that we had. Let's go down here. I'm going to click down here, and you'll see up here. Here we have a microphone. I can let it do voice to text. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their party. And so you can take notes that way. You can see I didn't have to type anything. I just spoke. It translated there. which is a nice little feature there. Let's go back here. I create sections that use the same names as my browser bookmarks. So when you're organizing things, I have general categories like health, investments, family members, receipts. I have different things that I have the main deals, and I usually coordinate those with what I have for browser bookmarks and for email folders. Yeah, let me get there. Okay, let's do a little, yeah, well, we're running a little bit later. Maybe I'll open it up for questions right now, and if there's no questions, then I can kind of show some of the stuff. So let's go back here and see, okay, where can I turn it off here? Oh,
I don't see any questions.
oh, no questions in there?
I don't see any.
Does anyone have any audio questions or video? A quiet group out there.
Hey, Tom. This is John Stafko.
Sure.
You talked about these notes that you make in OneNote. Are they backed up in OneDrive?
Yes, what is occurring is the file itself is uploaded to OneDrive, and every notebook is its own file. And so that is being updated up there, and when you open OneNote on these other devices using the app on a smartphone or stuff like that, it's going out to the OneDrive and getting the most current data that you have out there.
Okay, very interesting. I've used OneNote. I'm sorry, Evernote for a long time, but just the basic things. So this seems a lot more versatile. I think I'm going to switch.
Yes, and that's I mentioned it a little bit at the beginning there about the difference between OneNote and Evernote. Evernote is not really advanced over the years, and OneNote has taken over the market. So it is the digital note-taking application, and certainly Evernote has trouble competing with a product that's free and Evernote, if you wanted to share it amongst, then you had to have a certain level and things like that. So, but the capabilities now that Microsoft has added are the same capabilities that you see in some of their other packages, the dictation and the version control and things like that. All of that stuff is in OneNote, and you don't see it in any of these other applications there. Other questions or comments there? One of the things I'll mention, so I mentioned doing different things, and so this is an example. Like I have a shopping section in my notebook here, and in this shopping section, I have a number of documents in here. Well, this is where I keep track of things to buy, so things that I want there. I also pick up groceries for my dad. I keep track of the running total, whether he owes me or I owe him. Stuff to pick up at Lund's, stuff to pick up at Aldi's, Trader Joe's stuff. So we keep track of all the different things, and he tells me what he wants each week, and then I pick it up. I also keep track. We have a family dinner once a week on Sunday dinner there with my sister and her husband, and our family gets together with my dad. And within there, I have certain meals that I'll produce. So hamburgers, this is my shopping list if I'm doing burgers, or Mexican buffet. This is what I use for a Mexican buffet. And this lets me know whether I have to pick it up or I have to if I already have it in my pantry or at home there, what I have to pick up. And I do turkey every year. Well, this is my shopping list for the majority of the turkey there. I also keep track of food orders. So when we've eaten out or stuff like that, I know what the favorites of different family members are, so that if I have to do an order again, I know what to order. Birthdays and Christmas, I'll keep track of items in there. Here's light bulbs. I keep track of if I'm buying light bulbs. Well, what color is it? How many watts is it? This helps me. Menards, what do I have to pick up there? Where to buy things? Wine recommendations. What wine to buy or what's out there. So you can use it to collect all kinds of information. Another example is so this is my dad, a folder from my dad. Well, we have in here, let's see, Fort Snelling. My mother died a year ago. Well, here's the map of Fort Snelling Cemetery, and then I've highlighted exactly where the grave is. So if I have to send it to a family member or anybody else there, I can easily get the information. If I'm looking it up myself, I can find it and I can do things there. So makes it real handy to do there. Okay, any other questions or comments there? How many people are current? Well, it sounds like John was using Evernote there, are using a digital note taker there, or is this the first time you've kind of been exposed to a digital note taker?
I use it a lot because it's right integrated into Teams too. Well, I was using it even before Teams, but it is integrated into Teams too. You could just add it as one of the apps up on the bar in your Teams environment too. So, and within a team, have the notebooks there. So we do. Some teams use the OneNote notebooks as well. So.
Yeah, certainly in a business setting, it really makes sense, and at home, to me, it makes even more sense than in a business sense because again, you run into all this information from all these different sources, and the question is, where are you going to put it, and how are you going to organize it? And here's a tool that'll let you do that. And once you do that, the advantage is I can be anywhere. Again, because I have my phone and that I can bring it up. I can look things up. I can add things to it. I can, if I run into a website that has some information, I'll just clip and copy some of this stuff here. And so to me, it's a miracle worker for keeping track of all of the insights and information that we run into.
Yeah, I will use it at home too. One of the ways too is that keeping track of the receipts when you're doing electronic checkouts. You can either just save the files, but it's easier again to find things within the OneNote environment.
I do my own taxes and stuff like that, and even if you pay somebody to do taxes, create a tax folder and just start throwing the stuff in there as you get it throughout the year. Then at the end of the year, or when tax time rolls around, you don't have to go hunting for a lot of things. You're just capturing it all throughout the year as you have it, maybe making notes to yourself, check this out, do this, whatever, and so to me, it's like I say, it's I couldn't live without it. I've used OneNote for I don't know close to 10 years now, and I actually was surprised that I hadn't talked about it before because it's one of the packages that I do love, and I do keep it up on my laptop at home. It's always open and it's always ready to go to look something up or to add something to it.
Hey, Tom, this is John Stoffel again.
Sure.
If I'm using the OneNote app that's on my computer, does that store it on the computer? Any notebooks I make?
Yeah, the way that it works is, let me bring back up OneNote here. So OneNote, the file that it's actually writing is always being synced. So you'll see up here this page sync status. The minute I make a change to anything here, so let's go back to our presentation here, and I go in here, and let's go in here, and I'm going to delete some information. You'll see there it goes, it's syncing, and it's synced it back up to the cloud. So it's instantly syncing it back up to the cloud, uploading and downloading. So technically there is a file on the PC, it's just that the system of record, or the main source there, is OneDrive up there, and it's constantly uploading and downloading any changes. So if I went to my phone and let's say added a new page, that new page would be created on my phone, synced up to OneDrive, and immediately brought back down to OneDrive on my laptop or on my desktop, all these devices.
So if I created a thing on my computer, but I don't want to use up computer storage space, if I delete that file on the computer, it's still up there in OneDrive.
Yes, and I mentioned earlier too. Let's take this file here. Let's take this. So here's a page that I had created back in December of 2021, and I have multiple versions of this. At any time, I can go back. Let's see, where is translate? Oh, I'm not going to pull it up here right now, I guess, but I can go back to any version that I want up there and get at it. So you also have an unlimited number of versions there, so you don't have to worry about losing data. In fact, this is one of the few files that I personally don't back up, because the only way I'd ever lose data here is if Microsoft went out of business. And Microsoft's not going to go out of business overnight. If they are going to have a problem, I'm going to have time to back up this file or save information. But this file itself, the file that these notebooks are in, I couldn't bring into any other package. So the files are in a proprietary format that can only be used by OneNote there. Okay. Any other questions or comments? We went over a little bit. Sorry about that. But if you do have any questions, certainly get it to me or dial into our next question and answer. If you haven't tried OneNote, certainly try it. Price is right. It's free. As you can see, it can basically do anything you want. Start out small, collect a few things, have a few pages, and before you'll know it, you'll be putting all your information in there and getting rid of those post-it notes and notebooks and clippings that you have or other things that you may have on your desk or around the area. So thanks for joining today, and have a nice rest of the day. And if you do have any questions, let me know then. But thanks.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
Yep, thank you.
You're welcome.